Real estate settlement procedures. Question 1. Which real estate term is defined by a definite proposal communicated with intent to be bound upon acceptance? Option A. Statute of frauds. Option B. Exclusive right minus to minus sell listing. Option C. Offer. Option D. Bilateral contract. The correct answer is option C. Offer. An advertisement is usually an invitation to negotiate unless it is unusually specific and leaves nothing open. The proposal can terminate through revocation, rejection, counter-proposal, lapse, or operation of law. The terms must be sufficiently clear for the recipient to understand the proposed bargain. Question 2. In a transaction involving a duplex, which rule controls when there is denying or limiting lending or related services in geographic areas associated with protected groups? Option A. Recording. Option B. Quiet title action. Option C. Special warranty deed. Option D. Redlining. The correct answer is option D. Redlining. Mapping or coding practices can create evidence of discriminatory treatment. Underwriting decisions must rely on legitimate risk factors rather than neighborhood demographics. The practice concerns unequal access to credit and financial services. Question 3. A buyer asks about mixing client or trust funds with a broker's personal or operating money. Which answer provides the legally accurate concept? Option A. Commingling. Option B. Dual agent. Option C. Client. Option D. Buyer's agent. The correct answer is option A. Commingling. Separate accounts protect the owners of the funds and permit accurate accounting. Even without theft, mixing funds can violate licensing rules. Conversion is more serious because it involves unauthorized use of the money. Stressed about your Maryland real estate? We can take Maryland real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. Zane encounters a legal rule requiring specified agreements, including many real estate contracts, to be in writing and signed during a title examination. Which principle should guide the analysis? Option A. Buyer representation agreement. Option B. Statute of frauds. Option C. Consideration. Option D. Time is of the essence. The correct answer is option B. Statute of frauds. The rule concerns enforceability rather than whether the parties discussed an oral bargain. The writing must identify the parties, property, and essential terms with sufficient certainty. Exceptions can apply in limited circumstances such as qualifying part performance. Question 5. Which choice best matches the description of relationship created when a principal later approves an act performed without prior authority? Option A. Buyer's agent. Option B. Obedience duty. Option C. Agency by ratification. Option D. Universal agent. The correct answer is option C. Agency by ratification. The approval treats the authorized result as though authority existed at the time of the act. Ratification cannot validate an illegal act. The principal must know the material facts and accept the benefit or conduct. Question 6. During review of a single-family home in Cambridge, the parties discuss a contract condition allowing performance obligations to depend on a specified event. Which term applies? Option A. Property management agreement. Option B. Purchase agreement. Option C. Liquidated damages. Option D. Contingency. The correct answer is option D. Contingency. Failure of the condition can permit termination if the clause is properly invoked. Financing, appraisal, inspection, and sale minus property conditions allocate transaction risk. The party benefiting from the provision must comply with notice and deadline requirements. Question 7. An exam scenario presents federal and state rules protecting competition from agreements that restrain trade. Which answer is most accurate? Option A. Antitrust law. Option B. Title insurance. Option C. General warranty deed. Option D. Market allocation. The correct answer is option A. Antitrust law. Competitors cannot agree to divide markets, boycott firms, or fix prices. Industry custom is not a defense to coordinated conduct. Brokerages must independently set commission rates, fees, and business policies. Question 8. A licensee preparing for a buyer consultation must recognize direct knowledge of a fact or claim affecting property. Which concept does this describe? Option A. Market allocation. Option B. Actual notice. Option C. Reasonable modification. Option D. Antitrust law. The correct answer is option B. actual notice. Both direct and record-based notice can affect purchaser rights. A person with direct knowledge cannot rely on failure to record as though the issue were unknown. The information may come from documents, statements, observation, or personal awareness. Are you looking for Maryland real estate actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access Maryland Real Estate Study Guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get Maryland Real Estate Answer Key today. Question 9. Which answer correctly classifies a situation involving a contractual right to match or accept terms when an owner decides to sell? Option A. Voidable contract. Option B. Void contract. Option C. Right of first refusal. Option D. Property management agreement. The correct answer is option C. Right of first refusal. The right does not usually force the owner to offer the property before deciding to market it. Once a qualifying third-party offer exists, the holder receives the opportunity defined by the agreement. The wording controls notice, timing, and covered transactions. Question 10. At a contract revision in Laurel, Jonah explains a change in a housing rule or service needed for a person with a disability to have equal use and enjoyment. Which real estate principle is involved? Option A. Steering. Option B. Constructive notice. Option C. Lead-based paint disclosure. Option D. Reasonable accommodation. The correct answer is option D. Reasonable accommodation. A housing provider may request limited information when the need is not obvious. The request concerns policy or procedure rather than a structural change. Approval is required unless the request creates an undue burden or fundamental alteration. Question 11. A transaction file for a mixed-use property raises an issue involving an agreement that remains enforceable unless a party with a legal right elects to rescind. Which answer best resolves the classification? Option A. Voidable contract. Option B. Contingency. Option C. Rescission. Option D. Liquidated damages. The correct answer is option A. Voidable contract. The protected party may affirm or reject the transaction depending on the circumstances. The other party cannot automatically treat the agreement as non-existent. Fraud, duress, or lack of capacity can create this status. Question 12. Which concept should an investor apply to facts involving something of legal value exchanged to support a contract? Option A. Rescission. Option B. Consideration. Option C. Voidable contract. Option D. Bilateral contract. The correct answer is option B. Consideration. Earnest money may evidence seriousness but is not always required for contract validity. The exchange can consist of money, a promise, an act, or forbearance. Courts generally examine legal sufficiency rather than whether the bargain was economically equal. Question 13. For a real estate settlement procedures study session, Wendy analyzes an office building during an offer evaluation in Ocean City. Caleb is studying a rule concerning the federal law establishing liability and cleanup authority for releases of hazardous substances. Which term should be chosen? Option A. Americans with Disabilities Act. Option B. Blockbusting. Option C. CERCLA. Option D. Antitrust law. The correct answer is option C. CERCLA. Liability can extend beyond the person who originally caused the contamination. Environmental due diligence may support statutory defenses for qualifying purchasers. Potentially responsible parties can face substantial cleanup obligations. Question 14. When a rental home transaction involves a contract transferring possession and use for a term while the owner retains title, which answer identifies the controlling concept? Option A. Executory contract. Option B. Novation. Option C. Contingency. Option D. Lease. The correct answer is option D. Lease. The document does not convey fee ownership to the occupant. Rent, duration, maintenance, and permitted use are central terms. The tenant receives of the rental agreement hold interest and owes duties stated in the agreement and law. Question 15. A practice question describes a listing allowing the owner to avoid brokerage compensation by personally finding the buyer. Which response is best? Option A. Exclusive agency listing. Option B. Assignment. Option C. Void contract. Option D. Purchase agreement. The correct answer is option A. Exclusive agency listing. The broker earns compensation when the broker or another broker produces the buyer. The owner retains a limited right to sell without owing the agreed fee. The exact result depends on the written agreement and procuring minus cost terms. Question 16. During a title examination, which principle is illustrated by the contract stating the buyer's and seller's obligations for transfer of identified real property. Option A, assignment. Option B, purchase agreement. Option C, offer. Option D, open listing. The correct answer is option B, purchase agreement. Contingencies, closing duties, risk allocation, and default remedies should be clearly expressed. Essential terms include the parties, property, price, and material conditions. The agreement remains subject to applicable disclosure and writing requirements. Question 17. Which answer states the concept associated with a court proceeding used to resolve competing claims and establish ownership rights in the due-diligence meeting described? Option A, market allocation. Option B, radon. Option C, quiet title action. Option D, actual notice. The correct answer is option C, quiet title action. The judgment can remove invalid claims and clarify the state of title. The procedure is different from title insurance, which shifts covered financial risk. Interested parties must receive proper notice and an opportunity to be heard. Question 18. A associate broker handling a warehouse in Gaithersburg must identify a summarized history of recorded documents affecting a parcel. Which choice is correct? Option A, price fixing. Option B, reasonable modification. Option C, asbestos. Option D, abstract of title. The correct answer is option D, abstract of title. It is not itself an insurance policy against undiscovered defects. The document identifies conveyances, liens, and other recorded matters in the chain of title. An attorney or title professional examines the information to evaluate marketability.
Stressed about your FCLE? We can take FCLE for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. During a property management audit for a townhouse in Bowie, Leah needs to identify the rule described as a representation relationship created by written or oral agreement. Which answer applies? Option A, express agency. Option B, implied agency. Option C, commingling. Option D, client. The correct answer is option A, express agency. Real estate licensing law often requires the brokerage agreement to be written. The scope of authority is determined by the agreement and applicable law. The parties intentionally state that the agent will act for the principal. Question 20. A seller is reviewing a vacant parcel in Rockville. Which term describes an agreement containing competent parties, lawful objective, offer and acceptance, consideration, and required formalities? Option A, novation. Option B, valid contract. Option C, specific performance. Option D, open listing. The correct answer is option B, valid contract. Some real estate agreements must also satisfy writing and signature requirements. The parties must have capacity and the purpose cannot violate law or public policy. A binding agreement requires mutual assent to definite terms and legally sufficient consideration. Question 21. At a settlement preparation, a Maryland exam candidate encounters the following description: the obligation to follow the principal's lawful instructions within the agency scope. Which concept is being tested? Option A, general agent. Option B, subagent. Option C, obedience duty. Option D, seller's agent. The correct answer is option C, obedience duty. An agent must carry out authorized directions even when another approach seems more profitable. Illegal or unethical instructions must not be followed. The brokerage agreement defines the limits of authority. Question 22. Elena is assisting with an office building transaction in Westminster. Which principle applies when the facts involve the obligation to use the skill and diligence expected of a competent real estate professional? Option A, conversion. Option B, procuring cause. Option C, seller's agent. Option D, reasonable care. The correct answer is option D, reasonable care. The duty does not make the licensee a lawyer, engineer, or tax advisor. The licensee should verify information, meet deadlines, and recommend appropriate expert assistance. Negligent performance can create liability even without intentional misconduct. Question 23. Which answer most accurately identifies a deed limiting the grantor's title covenants to defects arising during the grantor's ownership in a real estate transaction? Option A, special warranty deed. Option B, group boycott. Option C, price fixing. Option D, underground storage tank. The correct answer is option A, special warranty deed. The grantor does not broadly warrant against problems created by earlier owners. Title insurance may still be important because earlier defects remain possible. The instrument provides more protection than a deed with no covenants but less than a full general warranty. Question 24. A question arising during marketing review concerns a non-exclusive arrangement allowing multiple brokers to seek a buyer, with compensation generally owed to the successful procuring broker. Which choice gives the best classification? Option A, assignment. Option B, open listing. Option C, unilateral contract. Option D, lease. The correct answer is option B, open listing. Clear documentation is important because competing efforts can create compensation disputes. The owner may also retain the right to sell independently without paying a broker. No single broker receives exclusive marketing authority. Question 25. While analyzing a historic residence, Victor must apply the concept involving a brokerage arrangement assigning different affiliated licensees to represent opposing clients while the broker manages conflicts under state law. Which answer should be selected? Option A, disclosure duty. Option B, ministerial act. Option C, designated agency. Option D, special agent. The correct answer is option C, designated agency. The supervising broker's role and consent requirements depend on the jurisdiction. The structure is intended to provide representation within the same brokerage without one salesperson advising both sides. Each assigned representative advocates for one client and protects that client's confidential information.